morning, kids. What time is it?
Hey, it's Edson with GeekTime TV. Excited and a little bit surprised that the second trailer for Dune Part 2, coming out later this year, has just dropped. Didn't seem that long ago when the first trailer came out, and I was very excited about that one. And now this one's a little bit longer, so it's going to show a few more scenes from the movie. Before I get into it, please do hit that subscribe button. It really does help us grow the channel. And I just wanted to give quick spoiler warning that I'll definitely be going into certain parts of the book as I'm going through this trailer. So I just wanted to give a spoiler alert on that one. All right, let's get to it. This is really cool.
You've been fighting the Harkonnens for decades. My family's been fighting them for centuries.
Okay, so Paul here talking to the Fremen, most likely either Stilgar or Chani, or maybe both of them, saying that they've been fighting the Harkonnens for decades. I believe it's about 80 years that the Harkonnens have been oppressing the Fremen, and but the Atreides have been fighting them for centuries, because they've been their arch enemies for many years, obviously hundreds of years. And this is Paul saying, yeah, we have a common enemy here. It makes sense for us to join together and fight them.
You young pup.
Okay, really great scene from the book. This is so Gurney Hallock, after the fall of House Atreides, in the first part, he felt that he was isolated, just being like the lone survivor of the whole Atreides, of the whole Atreides hierarchy. He just felt that he lost his home, the only family he had, and there he is. It's just he discovers that Paul is still alive, and he's very excited that he's able to join up with him and continue with the fight. And this is a very emotional moment from the book. I'm really looking forward to how they do this one. Let's see.
The prophet. Why is that a bad thing? Use it.
So you saw the shot. There's a much longer shot in the first trailer about Paul being able to accomplish riding a worm, and then you have that perfect expression, that expression of awe from Javier Bardem playing Stilgar, where he realizes that Paul is someone who seems to be fitting all the aspects of, or at least some of the aspects of this prophecy that the Fremen have lived with for hundreds and hundreds of years, that an outsider would come and help them defeat their oppression. And there's Stilgar just realizing that Paul, it may be happening in his lifetime, because Paul seems to be fitting to that person. And it's such a great expression on that Javier pushes across here. Also, then we see Gurney realizing that the Fremen have this prophecy and that Paul may be that person, and he's saying, well, use that to your advantage, because we need a fighting force to go and defeat the Harkonnens.
Because all my visions lead to horror. Because you lose control.
Because I gain it.
Okay, so finishing that conversation with Gurney, it seems kind of contradictory that Paul is saying that his visions lead to horror because he gains control. It's like, and this is a common theme that ran through the entire book of Dune, where Paul has these visions and he sees pathways to where he is able to gain power and gain leadership of Fremen, so that he can defeat the Harkonnens, defeat the Emperor. But then what happens after that? And some of these visions tells him that that there's having being like the leader of this Fremen who have been waiting hundreds and hundreds of years for someone to come and be kind of like their leader to fight off the oppression, and they have like, because they're following a prophecy, they're fighting with a religious fervor, giving up their lives at any cost, and that this may start up a storm of like a holy war that will not just be against the Harkonnens, but just sweep across the empire, and it may result in more and more deaths and more terrorization of other people. And Paul is realizing that something like this, I actually, in the book, that it's called the Jihad, the Holy War, something like this may be hard to stop once it starts up, and he's becoming aware, or he is aware that this type of power, he has to be very careful before it gets out of control.
Paul Atreides is still alive.
So here we have our first look at Christopher Walken as the Emperor, and at first I gotta admit I was kind of curious about that casting, but he looks great. He looks like he's going to be fit perfectly as the Emperor. And here we have his daughter, Princess Irulan, who apparently figured out that the Atreides aren't gone, that Paul, who is part of the actually ruling part of the Atreides, has survived, and now he's realizing that Paul is a threat to him, because the Emperor, the Harkonnens weren't the only ones who took down House Atreides. The Emperor actually helped them by sending his military forces to support them and overcome the Atreides. It needed both of them to overcome. And now the Emperor is realizing, well, with Paul alive, he's going to be a threat to him.
Show me who you are.
We have a shot of here, a scene of Feyd-Rautha. We saw a little bit of him in the first trailer, showing his fighting prowess, and again here, fighting in the arena, which leads up to is a kind of a foreshadowing of his of the climactic fight with him against Paul in the end, which we did see a little bit of in the first trailer.
We gave them something to hope for.
That's not hope!
So I don't remember this line actually coming from the book, but what it looked like that was from is looked like what's happening is Jessica is explaining to Paul that the reason why the Fremen think of him as someone who's fulfilling a prophecy is that she grew up in the Bene Gesserit sisterhood, and what they were doing mostly to manipulate people in different planets. In their thought, they were doing the right thing because they were trying to lead people towards a certain direction. But what they did in other planets, and specifically here in Arrakis, was hundreds of years before they started up this story, this prophecy, that there will come sometime in the future that there's going to be a legend. There's going to be someone that comes from the outside of Arrakis and come in here and lead the Fremen against their oppressors. This wasn't something that they knew that was going to happen with Paul. It was just something that they wanted to kind of start up a story like that, in the hopes that sometime in the future they might that it might happen and it might be to their advantage. Obviously, they didn't know back then that it would be Paul, but they were hoping that it would be somebody that they could control. And so Jessica's explaining to Paul, we did this because we wanted to give the Fremen hope that at some point that someone would come to lead them against the oppressors. And he's like, he's like, no, that's not hope, because that was just a story that that you guys told them in the hopes that it would happen, but you never knew it was going to happen. So it's not any kind of hope that it would definitely happen.
It's not a prophecy. It's a story.
I don't care what you believe. I believe.
And just to continue along those lines, he's now telling Cheney, it's like, you know, he realizes that a lot of the Fremen are looking at him as this person who's going to fulfill this prophecy, and he's like, it's not a prophet. It's just a story that was told to you. It's like, so he, you know, this is what makes Paul such a fascinating character, such a good, you know, multi-layered character. Like, he's someone that does not want these people to deify him, to make him some kind of holy leader or anything like that. He does want to help them get rid of the oppressors, the Harkonnens and the Emperor. And of course that aligns with what he wants to do too, because of what they did to his family. But he doesn't want them to use this prophecy to put him up on some kind of pedestal that has like ultimate power, like what usually happens, not usually, but what happens often with revolutions, where the leader tries to take up so much power that then becomes the tyrant himself. So Paul is being aware that there's a danger to having that power, and he's like explaining to them, look, I'm not here to be like your deity or anything like that, but we can work together to beat off the Harkonnens and the Emperor. It's a great line from that long he uses Paul as you know, just prior to looks like it's prior to the final battle against the Emperor. Long live the fighters in their native tongue, to rally them to just before they go into the final battle.
He who can destroy a thing has the real control of it.
I just love that ending. Just like in the first trailer, ended with a classic line from the book. In the first trailer, it was Paul when he was about to fight Feyd-Rautha, "May thy knife chip and shatter." This one is he who can destroy a thing, controls a thing, and it's absolutely right. Frank Herbert was such a good writer with these lines, and they're. You know, I have to say again, spoiler. Basically, he's talking about the spice melange, which is by far the most valuable commodity in the Empire, and you can only find it in Arrakis. So by him and the Fremen, basically having the ability now to have taken over the spice operations, and now they can basically destroy it. They truly control it, because the rest of the Empire is reliant on this, and you know, they can use it as leverage against them. So classic line from this, and just this. I didn't think I was going to be this excited about another trailer, but I am. And this one's even more so, and it does look like from both of these trailers that people doing this movie, beginning with Denis Villeneuve, really are trying to honor the source material, which is, I mean, as a lifelong fan of the book, this is exactly what I was looking for. What I'm sure with most fans of Dune, they're looking for, that they're actually trying to go by the source material and give it the respect that it needs. And it looks like, I mean, obviously there's always going to be some aspects that are different, but it really does look like they're trying to respect the source material, which is just perfect. I remember I remember hearing him, Denis Villeneuve, in a interview, that I think the plan was to do a trilogy of the movies, where the first movie is Dune Part 1, the second movie is Dune Part 2, and the third movie would be basically the second Dune, the second book in the series, which is called Dune Messiah. I hope he does get to do that. hopefully everyone will go out and see this movie and make it a success, so that he gets to do Dune Messiah. Dune Messiah is a much shorter book than Dune, so they could do it in one movie, and without getting any kind of specific spoilers on that one, you do see the ramifications of what happens in the first book, and so I hope that he does get to do it and do the trilogy, because this is just this is the one movie I'm very excited for to watch this year, and I think it's going to be we got like 4 more months, I believe, around 4 more months. It's in November, and it's just going to be great. I guess that's it for me. Can't say enough about this. Please let me know what you think in the comments about this trailer, about your experiences with the Dune book, whether you read it or not, and what you think about this trailer. And I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching GeekTime TV. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe, make sure to check the little bell icon anytime someone from our network drops new content here. Want some GeekTime swag? Check out the merchandise available in the GeekTime TV store, linked in the channel description below. Share GeekTime TV with friends, and as always, thank you for your support. We'll see you soon.